stay-at-home group. I'm going to just do this really quick tutorial on the very scary pen tool. If you can click a mouse, then you can use the pen tool. The more you learn to use it, the better you'll get at it, and you'll become quicker, more accurate, and it'll take you no time at all. So I've made this picture for you, this lovely square and this circle, and then I'm going to show you another picture that I've done. This is the pen tool on your left hand side. I'm using Photoshop CS6 for this. I haven't got to grips with CC yet. There's some funny things going on with the pen tool I haven't learned how to use yet. But here, this is your pen tool, and it's just the bog standard pen tool. At the top here you need path, and I think these are all just the defaults. I've never touched them, so I think they're just the defaults. And you get this little, I have a little crosshair cursor like this. So we're going to cut out this square to start with. So literally all you do is click, 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 and then you have to join all these clicks up. These are anchor points and you have to join them up. So we go back to the very first and join it up. But because we've not zoomed in, you know, that looks fine, doesn't it? But when we zoom in to actually look at where we've made our selection, and this line shows us our selection, and it shows the necessity of zooming in because we've missed a portion all down here. That's not bad actually, but I always would zoom in, you know, as much as I possibly can, and I zoom out a lot as well because and I'll show you that when we're doing the other picture. So we've joined up all our anchor points. We need to, whilst inside our selection, right click. Oh, it always does this. Let's just go back, new path. It's because I've messed about. Right click and we choose make selection. We're going to feather by 0.3 pixels. It's a new selection, and we're going to tick OK, and immediately we see our marching ants. This is our selection. Now if you right click, you could have also created a vector mask and a few other things, but this is how I do it when I'm cutting out. Very quick, very easy. So now I've made my selection. I'm on a Mac, so I Command J to put my selection into a new layer. Close down your background, and this is your selection. This is the selection I've just made. So now the next thing is to look around the edge, and as you can see, as I showed you before, I actually thought that even that top layer, that top row was really clean, but it wasn't. So that proves how much we have to zoom in as far as you can. So I'm going to close that down and open our background layer up again. Make sure that you highlighted on that layer, of course, and then we're going to zoom in again. I like to use the little navigator thing at the top there. It's just what I've always done, so you tend to do what you've always done. And I'm going to zoom in, and we're just going to attack this little arc now. And again, you know, you're not really, you need to be this far zoomed in, and you literally make all these little clicks all the way around. And to start with, that's all you need to do, and just practice clicking actually inside the colour you want. And here you can see I've gone out, so I'll use Command Z to go back one. You've got your history here, so you can go back as many as you want there, and then you can place that anchor point exactly where you want it. inside or outside. You might want a little piece of the, you might want a little bit of that blue around it, but for this particular occasion we don't. So once you've started practicing this, and you can manage to stay in the drawing lines, as it were, you sometimes then find that suddenly you pull your anchor points and they do all sorts of things. So if I'm on a straight part, which I consider this little bit here to be quite a straight part, I would go a little bit further away and then pull it straight out, pull the anchor point straight out. It's a good thing just to practice, and you pull it straight out and it will bend that line, and it will bend it into a curve. But to start with, just click, click, click all the way around. Let's go back. I'm going to pull that anchor point. It's going to bend this line here, but we're just going to click, click, click. And that's how easy it is to cut out with a pen tool, very basically. And I'm going to just join up, and then we can have a look at, where is it? Oh, I don't know where it's gone. Let's go. Let's do it really quickly. But to start with, just use little tiny clicks, and when you actually zoom out, you can see, look, how small they are. And we'll join up. I'll zoom in for that. So it turns into the pen point there, look, when you've actually closed the path. So right click, and then you get your transformation box, make selection, 0.3 pixels, okay, and then you've got your selection. So let's zoom back out a little bit. We've just selected that area. Command J to put that selection into a new layer of its own, and there you can see your selection. If it had taken a bit more time, it would have been a little bit smoother, and the more you practice, the smoother that curve and that arc will be. So this is why I'm now going to show you the eagle picture. I've just quickly whizzed around this, but you can see how many lots of little clicks I've made all the way around. But I zoomed right in, so I'm going to zoom even further, because as you can see around the edge of this, there's this awful grey line. Around here there's a white line that I don't want. So wherever I put these clicks, and wherever that line ends up, is where your cut will be. So all you have to do is click, 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 click all the way around. And if you go out, then again go back to your your history box, and you can go back as many times as you want. So I'm just going to join it up now. I'm just really whizzing along quickly. And we get back to our starting anchor point there, which is there, and I click on it. I'll come back out again so we can see. So inside I'm going to right, oh, it always does this when you don't want it to. So I'm going to right click and make the selection, feather radius 0.3, okay, and we get our marching ants. So I'm going to Command J to put it in its own layer. Turn off your background. You can use the mask option for this, but I don't. And as you can see, I haven't been very good at my cutting out, because there's a massive grey sort of line all the way around it. Hopefully, if you take a little bit more time and you zoom right in, you will make a better selection than that. you can, I always have a white layer at the bottom so that I can see, you know, but I can turn it off and it's just I can tell it's, with the checkerboard, it's on a transparent layer. What I would do now is I would go to my eraser and using my bracket keys, and 100%, still soft, because quite a soft brush, because this line is very, very strong, it's very harsh, and then you can just nip round and just perfect that little cutout if you've not been careful. I've done this very quickly, and so there's going to be a few dodgy bits to cut out. Here we can go back to the pen tool and we can just keep cutting out these little bits that we've missed the first time. You can add to your selection, but I always tend to forget about them until I notice them. And then so we can just cut that out, right click, make selection, okay, delete, then Command D to get rid of your marching ants, and then you've also cut that bit out. So again, we're still on the pen tool, we just click all the way around wherever we want that piece removed, join up, right click, make selection, okay, we get our marching ants, back arrow to delete, Command D to get rid of the marching ants, and we've made our selection. So oops, so now, so this is how I save them. I always keep the original on there. I've got umpteen copies of it, but I always keep it on just in case I get better at a different method. I may have got better over the years at doing things. So, but this I will save as a PSD. So I file, save as. Is it going to come up and do it? And I save it as a in my cutout. I actually have I won't show it on here, but cancel. I have a cutout file and I save it as a PSD with the original and just a blank layer. It does look as if it's on a white page anyway when it's saved. And I hope that was useful. But as you can see, it's you know, it really is quick and easy, and it can be so perfect. Wherever you put that line is where it's going to cut. Thank you.